Kim, it's great to
Okay.
meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So let's begin our journey into your good work by asking you this. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing the world. How did you get through that time period, and how has it changed the way that you approach things today?
Um, Actually, the pandemic is probably what started it all for me.
Yeah.
6 years ago during the pandemic, I was working in a corporate job and supporting other clients with their accounting and saw many losses and failures and just people not really understanding what created the loss and failure. They were like totally confused. It's like CEOs that were not understanding their books, not understanding their financial health at all. And so just after walking through much of that, worked in a on a particular situation where a guy called me stupid and called me a racial slur just
Oh,
because I had been trying to tell him um, to look at his books because things weren't going well. And he was at the point of bankruptcy before he actually looked. Um, that started the entire wheel for me. That's where that pandemic opened. They either forced people out of business or open a new window for them to say, look, your finances is not just for an accountant to take a look at. It is for you to run your business. Um, and so about a year later, I started my business on the heels of the pandemic.
so let's get into exactly what you do for a living today. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 13-year-olds at career day, and one of the kids wants to know what you do for a living. How do you answer them?
Okay. Um, so I work with business owners, people who own businesses, and they make money. They run a business, they make money. I help them understand what happens with that money when they make it. So I help them see what's coming in. I help them understand that when they pay bills like utilities and rent and mortgage or whatever it is, I help them see that those bills are deducted from the money that someone paid them for the services they provided to that person. I help them to see that what's left is their profit. And I also, or their income, it's what they're able to pay themselves from and take care of their own family. And so I help them to figure out how to maximize that and to be able to understand how to price the services that they're selling correctly and all the other things so that they can maximize that income and be able to provide for themselves sufficiently.
So
So I
what
do
did
a
you
lot of financial education.
Yeah, absolutely. So what did you want to be when you were at that age, when you were growing up? What was your dream job?
You know what? I really thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah,
So did you pursue law at all?
I did not. I had a teacher in high school that introduced me to accounting and I fell in love with accounting instead. I just realized I was a detailed person and I really like details, which being in the legal field would have provided the same level of details, but I was just more exposed to accounting. So, yeah.
That's it. So what were the foundational elements growing up? Are you from South Carolina originally?
I'm from South Carolina originally. I just moved back here about a little over a year. I'd been living in Atlanta for the last 30 years. And so, yeah, the elements for me were my mom and dad were really strict. We grew up in small town South Carolina. My mom instilled work ethics in us at an early age. We weren't allowed to sleep in on Saturday just because we weren't in school. We weren't allowed to sleep in on Sundays. We had to go to church. We had chores every week, every day. We had a structured environment every single day. So those elements were instilled in me early. And then um, when I immediately when I got out of uh, high school, before I went to college, I went to the military. So I went in the Navy, which further instilled my discipline. Um, and then I went to college and became an accountant.
So, who's been your inspirational force? Who's been your hero in your life?
Actually, it's my mom. That really, she really has been, the person that mentally, she's passed on now, but mentally I lean on the fact of how strong she was. My father was ill most of the time that I knew him growing up, and my mom had to be the mom and the dad, and and my mom had all these kids. We had a huge family. So she had to take care of everything. My mom went back to school in her 50s to get her degree with these kids and a sick husband so that she could teach school, so she could become a elementary school teacher.
Wow.
So my resilience and perseverance and just can't is not a word in my vocabulary. That all comes from my mom.
So, if you could meet anybody on the planet right now that you find inspirational, find strong, that you could talk to, who would you love to meet?
Hmm. You know what? Um, I would have to say it would be Amy Porterfield.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because, a lot of people like celebrities or what have you, or heads of states, political um figures, but my business is everything to me. It supports my family, it moves my livelihood. And Amy, I would love to meet Amy Porterfield and just pick her brain. It would
Yeah.
be a great opportunity because I think she does such great work and she impacts businesses so well. I would love to just have a conversation with her and pick her brain.
Yeah, for sure. So, what gets you up every day to do this work that you do? You're changing lives, you're helping people, you're giving them financial literacy, but you got to take care of your soul. What's that energy every day for you to do it at a high level?
Just knowing that I never lose sight of the fact that what I do impacts businesses to impact their families. I'm really family driven and legacy driven. So I know that what I do helps them to provide for their family well, give them the lifestyle that they want, and to create a legacy for their children. So that's what gets me up every day doing this. It's not the digging into books um, or doing the accounting work, it's the impact I make on that end.
So, if you had a dream tonight, ran into the young version of you that wanted to get into law, and there was a film projector and you hit play and it had a 60-second highlight reel of the way your life has turned out so far, would that young version of you believe this happened?
Um, Probably not.
Would you have any advice?
Um, yeah, I think that because from time to time, Joe, I still have dreams of being an attorney. And I have friends that say you should have been an attorney
Yeah.
because I'm so highly logical. And so um I would say um I would tell my I will tell my past self to go ahead and pursue their original dreams. Don't and it's never too late to pursue it. I've thought several times about going back to law school. So, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say you walked into a room of everybody that knows you in a business sense as a financial guru, and you could walk into that room and tell them one fun story about you. Maybe the first concert you went to, um, a, a wonderful, unexpected place you travel to, jumping out of an airplane, outrunning a bear, a fun story that would humanize you to that room, what would you tell that room?
All right. That would be something really recent, actually. I had a friend that recommended that I join a roller derby team. and and I did. And this is the fun part of that story is I grew up in rural South Carolina and never skated a day in my life. So I had to learn how to skate and maneuver around on a roller derby team. Now it wasn't an easy feat. I fell. I bought the pads. I bought the padded pants. Um, and but here is what really came to life for me during that experience. It was really, really funny to see me fall so many times. And you don't know how many times I had to soak at night, but I wasn't going to give up. That was
Yeah,
one thing.
yeah,
Because I was actually the oldest lady on the team. And I did not want them to look at me like, oh, grandma, we just want grandma to be around. And that's how they were kind of starting to look at me. And I was like, oh no, this is not happening. I am just as competent as those 20 and 30-year olds. So I had to practice every day. Which means I had to get out on my skates. I had to find somewhere, get out on my skates on a level place and just roll around. And you do not know how many scrapes and falls and my kids were like, Mom, are you crazy? Because if you fall and break something, I was like, I won't. I'm being very careful. I was all suited up and everything. So it told me a lot about myself, actually. But
yeah.
that is the funniest thing. When I tell people that, they can't believe it.
I love it. That's such a great story. So, of everything that you've accomplished and evolved to and overcome and become, what are you the proudest of?
Um, I'm actually the proudest of my children.
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
They've my children are adults. They've done well for themselves. I've got 7 grandkids, and I'm just really proud of how they turned out. You know, we live in a world today where you just don't know. Even from the finest homes, you don't know
Yeah.
how your kids are going to actually turn out because influences are and outside factors. But I'm very proud of them.
So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Um, my perception of me is just that I'm ordinary. I'm just an ordinary girl wanting to make change in the world. That is just my perception of me. Um, I feel like I'm very humble, I'm very warm, um, and I'm just an ordinary girl trying to make change in the world. I'm not doing anything exceptional.
So if you could get into a time machine and see one event in human history, what would you like to see with your own eyes? Or you could go to the future, which at this point, I don't know if I would recommend, but probably going back.
Wow. Um, if I could if I could go back and see one event, no, this sounds strange, but I feel like there was so much happening in Rome in history,
Yeah,
so much culture and history, and I would love to have been there. I know it wasn't an easy life,
yeah.
but I would have loved to have been there um, to witness some of the events that took place during that time.
Have you been to Rome?
Uh, yes, I have.
I love Rome. I think I had a past life that rotated there because there was something magical about being in that city. I love that town.
Oh, wow. Yes, it's beautiful.
Oh,
And I'm looking forward to going again. Just not right now,
yeah.
but
Did you? Yeah, probably not. Did you throw a coin in the Trevi Fountain?
yes,
All right, you're going back.
yes,
You're going back. I
I
can't.
did.
I can't remember. I think I did. I think I probably just, I'm sure I did because it was such a big deal. But it was weird how that town was totally different at night. Everything was different day and night.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
wild.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
That is the one place I would like to go back.
Yeah. It's beautiful. So, um, if anybody wants to hire you, they have questions, they want to reach out, how do they do it?
They can reach me at profitablepenny.com, and they can also reach my website at profitablepenny.com. They can also reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Profitable Penny, and on LinkedIn at Kimberley Wiggins.
Okay. Kimberly, great to meet you. I will put all these links in the show notes. What a great story. Thank you for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe, for having me. This was a great interview.
Thank you.